Hello, hi, and welcome to EmpathicFire. I am your reader, Jay. This is going to be a mid-month message for Sagittarius. What's going on, Sagittarius? How are you guys doing? I hope you are doing well. Welcome to August, Sagittarius. Again, hopefully everything that's going on in your life is well right now, or you're doing well, I should say. And wherever you are in the world, Sagittarius, I am wishing you happiness, safety, and healthy at this time. Please continue to take care of yourselves and others that you know and love with the utmost of importance, okay? I apologize for the little bit of lateness with these readings, considerable lateness maybe. You know, I'm a human being, my friends, and your girl just had a rough couple of days. So I just wasn't feeling the energy. I wasn't feeling much of anything. So I had to take a mini break, but I'm back now bringing you these messages, okay? Any other announcements or general information for the intro? No, I don't think so. So let's just get right into it, okay? Anything you want from me, Sagittarius, it's already in the description box. So if you're looking for a timestamp, it's down there. If you would like to see the information on how to order a personal reading with me, that information is down there as well. If you have a question before you place an order, just email me at the same address and I'll answer you as soon as I can. Also down there, you'll see the link to my Instagram if you want to follow me over there. That name is EmpathicFire Tarot, okay? All right, guys, let's get into it. Already meditated, shuffled off the camera, shuffled while off camera, I should say. So let's go ahead and find out what's going on for you guys in mid-August 2020, okay? Messages, energies, and insights for Sagittarius in mid-August, please. Mid-August, Sagittarius. Wow, right off the bat, Ace of Pentacles. Okay, that's probably all that we need. And we want it like that. Perfect. So everything came face up, so maybe you're already kind of experiencing this, but let's find out. So, Ace of Pentacles, Five of Pentacles, and the Emperor. And the Emperor is major arcana, pardon me, for Aries. Some of you could be dealing with an Aries, but you don't have to be. Why am I like, there it is, like that's the center. For some reason, whatever. Sag, there's like an impenetrable situation in your life. Whether that's a relationship, whether that's something to do with finances or your job, something with your physical or material world, your tangible world, I don't know. But there is this desire for newness with the Ace of Pentacles there to start. Wanting offers or wanting to receive offers, wanting to give offers, or come into contact with new opportunities, perhaps in finances or career. But then right next to it, you have this Five of Pentacles, which is, you know, looks like a sad state of affairs, right? You know, nobody wants a rose in this state, in this condition. If you receive a rose, or if you care to look at a rose and admire it, you probably want to admire it when it's fresh and it's, you know, not on the decline. This is like a declining energy. Oh, okay. This is very serious, what I'm feeling, and I don't think it applies to, it's like for one specific person. You might be dealing with a person who's on the decline physically, okay? Whether that be because of any ailments, maybe just aging. It could be terminal. I don't know. But there is this wanting new hope, wanting freshness, beginnings. And look at what this is. This is actually a tree stump, right? With the rings there. And, you know, the basis I remember from school is that the more rings you find in a tree trunk, the older the tree is. So for some of you, you're dealing with an older person, perhaps, in a health decline, and, you know, my sympathies to that. And in that case where someone is older, possibly not in good health, you know, I'm not foretelling anything horrible, or rather, I don't think I'm foretelling or feeling, I should say. I'm not even foretelling anything. It's a feeling because it's a channel, right? So what I'm feeling is, you know, or they know, or everyone involved knows, there's no turning back. You know what I mean? If this is an older person, they've lived their life. And I'm trying not to be, I'm trying to state it plainly, but how can I say this? I know it might sound unsympathetic, thank you. But like, this is like, maybe I'm being like medical, and maybe you're wanting less medical, but this is how it feels. It's like, in plain language. They want me to communicate this in plain language. And I'm like, oh no, that sounds horrible the way I'm saying it and my tone and everything like that. But, I want you to know this is like a channel. They want me to say it very plainly. There is no going back. That this person knows that, the entire circle of people around the situation know that. Okay. If this person is ailing physically, mentally, okay, on the decline, I'm very sorry about that, because there's, that's life. We can't do anything about that, until we find the fountain of youth, until we find the Holy Grail, which, whatever. I'm not going to get into it, but there's just a deep pain, Five of Pentacles, a deep sorrow that just a few of you Sagittariuses are experiencing over this person, over what's happening to them, over the lack of opportunity they have. There's no going back. We can't take away what has happened. Age, a decline in health, and the onset of an illness, okay? Again, I'm not predicting anything I don't think you already know. But they really want me to highlight that for someone. And your desire or their desire is, to have that. It's kind of like a human condition, right? We want to always have good people around us, people that we know, people that we love, people that we have these close connections with. We never want to lose them. And this is feeling like a loss. It could have already happened. I could be talking to some of you. You're reflecting back, because I can get this feeling of reflection here, that some of you might be reflecting on a particular loss over your life at all, of someone that you knew and loved. And it could have been, decades ago that you lost that person, right? But at this time, Sagittarius, something in your energy field, in the collective of Sagittarian energy, is I want a new start, I want a new start, I want a new start, I want a new start. And right after that, it's like not happening. Now, for those where it's not, because it's not for everybody, I already said that this is dealing with that type of loss, physical loss of a loved one, the mortal loss of a person, right? And again, that's not for everybody that it's upcoming. It could just be someone is just like very sick. They may or whatever, you know what I'm saying? In the greater collective, because it's like a funneling is what this feels like, or like I forget what that's, I guess I don't know how you would describe it, but in the larger group of Sagittarius energy, this is about things not going back to what they once were, or being able to revitalize the same thing. Again, could be, a relationship with a person who isn't doing well, could be a relationship with someone who is perfectly healthy, but you two are, at odds, or you've fallen out, or, they've disappeared, you've disappeared, whatever it is. This is just not a great combination, I feel. And it hurts. I'm not like hurting, like I'm not like in agony or anything, but I feel like a little pinch or a little tinge or something in my heart. This is very upsetting to you or them or both of you, okay? And the reasons why are going to be specific to all of you, but I feel like there's this radiation, so to speak, coming from this Emperor energy. So for some of you, this could be a father figure or a father in your life, someone, it doesn't have to be a man, but someone who might be quite masculine, or someone who might be the father of your children, could be a brother, could be, any person with masculine qualities. Again, they don't have to be a man, so it could be your sister, the mother of your children, whatever. And they don't have to be an Aries, but it's either this is the person that's on the decline in some of your cases, and that's what's like so hard to reconcile, this downhill trajectory is what it feels like. It's hard to reconcile that because this person used to be so strong. They used to be so commanding in a room, in a space. If they were, talking, everybody would be quiet and listen to this person. Very, very much a possessor of personal power, right? And if they've become weaker for whatever reason, in whatever capacity, you're just like remembering, reflecting on who they used to be. They might be doing this in their own right. A lot of people are like that. And I think, I mean, it's not to say, it's specific to a Sagittarius or someone that you're dealing with. Everybody's like that. When your body starts to go or your mind starts to go or you can't do what you used to do, it's like, it's kind of sad. It's very melancholy, right? So for those where this is someone that isn't doing so well for whatever reason, it's hard to see them not like this. Look at this. Okay, see, it's a tree, right? So look how tall and mighty that tree is. It's something to behold. It's magnificent, right? And then what do we have here? Part of a tree, or a different viewpoint of a tree with the rings, right? And we can see how old. I mean, I don't know who's in the profession of dating trees by looking and counting their rings, but there you go. So there's like an examination over the life or the certain portion of someone's life where it's very like looking back on the good old days and reminiscing and all that kind of stuff. More information, please, because that's for the first group. There's another group, the bigger group, where it's not necessarily a decline. You do have someone in those situations who's being sort of strong, too strong, perhaps. It could be, in some of your cases, Sagittarius, you or the other person might be wanting this fresh start, might be wanting this second chance or an opportunity to make up for this, or an opportunity to get away from this. Again, this Five of Pentacles is very sad. It's a lot of sorrow. It's, wilting. That was the word possibly I was looking for earlier. This rose is wilting. It's dying, okay? And you may be trying to find a way to revitalize it, to put life back into this thing. And someone is standing on the outside. This could be a friend, a family member, coworker, lover, it doesn't matter. There could be another person, the Emperor perhaps, that you're wanting this with, and the Emperor is being very strong and they're standing their ground and they're not here for it. They're not going to listen to you. The Emperor in general as a character in tarot isn't one who's known for negotiations or to be a great listener. They're very good at talking. They're very good at, laying the law and giving orders or telling people how they feel things should be and kind of, again, having a commanding presence. But as far as being reciprocal to that type of energy is usually not the way. So for those where it's a little more of a you versus them, where you're trying to, and you could be the Emperor, by the way, Sagittarius, and please don't take offense to anything I've said about it. Those are just general traits. In general, whoever this Emperor is for the most part, or excuse me, I should say for most of you out there, it feels like this person is a good person. They're not being vindictive or anything like that. But they are being principled. If you're at odds with someone, if you're seeing something one way and this person sees it another way, they're not... Yeah, I don't feel that it's done to punish you or it's done to make you feel bad. I just think that this Emperor, let's say you had a fight, something like that, or a reason to disagree, or a reason to not be in communication, or whatever it is. This person is standing on their principles and saying, I know what I said, and I know what I feel, and I know what I believe, and I'm sticking to it. And you might be over here lamenting, or whoever's over here, again, it can go vice versa, it's a general. Whoever's over here is kind of like picking up the pieces, Five of Pentacles, because Five of Pentacles can also talk about ruin, financial ruin, or being in some type of dire straits, possibly in some cases. We are still dealing with a pandemic, and this is like one of the hotbed issues that's coming to pass, is a lot of people are facing eviction, and this person might have issue either financially or with their home in finding stability. And this tree over here, this mighty, I don't even think you would call it an oak, an elm, maybe? Is that an elm? But this tree is going nowhere. So this Emperor is very solid, and someone over here is less solid. And again, aside from that first storyline that we were talking about, for those where this is a person of fine health, everything's fine with both of you, I feel that one person has a lot more rooted in their life. They have a lot more stability in their life, and there's someone else who wants a part of that, or wants to have that again, because I do feel for some of you this is a second chance scenario. What other information can you give to Sagittarius at this time in mid-August, please? More information regarding this situation for Sagittarius, please show me. Devil, okay. More father archetypes. For those where you're dealing with a father figure, your dad, again, father of your children, your husband, ex-husband, or wife, you know, it can just be masculine energy, so the gender is notwithstanding. And the Mother of Pentacles, wow, okay. So definitely a lot of parental energy. You could be a parent, you could be the child, you know, we're all eventually one of those things at least, right? But there is a dynamic here where I think, wow, okay. So very interestingly, for whoever, not a small group, but for whoever it fits, the quote unquote man, it doesn't have to be a man, but the more traditionally masculine energy seems to be the one over here. Because when I put this Mother of Pentacles down here, they're like linking it so hard. Like what they actually showed me, you see like that's a deer and her doe, right? And I put it down here. And when I went to look down here, they gave me a visual of deers foraging. Is that what you call it? Feeding, eating off of nature, off of not a tree, but do they eat trees? Bushes? They eat whatever in the woods. I don't know. I'm not a biologist. But so I'm getting the sense that perhaps for some of you, the mother or feminine energy is in the masculine or in the Emperor's position. So these two people may have swapped places, so to speak. Oh, that's interesting. Because that could play several different ways. For some of you, the masculine person or the man of the house or whatever phrase you want to use has, for whatever reason, not been able to fulfill those duties or live up to that role, or something has intervened and caused that person to kind of be on the outskirts or be on the decline, whatever it is. And they're insisting that they can still do what they did before, but they can't. Again, possibly with physical ailments or, you know, conditions or diseases and whatnot. And so in that circumstance, the woman or and I quote it because it doesn't have to be this way. It doesn't have to be based on gender. But the more feminine energy, the one that before this point was nurturing more than anything else, you know, in this modern day and age, probably was also a co-provider in many cases. Doesn't have to be, but strictly had this role of nurturing. Because again, I'm seeing these two deer or any pair of deer and doe in the forest eating from the bushes. So that was the primary role, but it's touching this Emperor energy. So this Mother of Pentacles person has swapped or taken over that role. Now, I had to explain that visual because I was just like, that was just like punching me in the face. The Devil energy, Major Arcana for Capricorn. You could be dealing with a Capricorn. You don't have to be. For some of you, this is like a mighty, a massive, huge life lesson, karmic lesson. Capricorn associated with the planet of Saturn, all about karma. And 10th house energy, again, associated with Capricorn, dealing with public life or dealing with your work life, dealing with how you live up to roles and duties and responsibilities and obligations in your private and public life, but mostly your public life. Private life in the sense of like, what is the role you play within a family? Are you the big sister? Are you the little sister? Are you the older brother? Are you the younger brother? Whatever it is, the mother, the father, the grandfather, whatever. Like, how do you fulfill that role, right? In the public space, are you based on your career, Are you an upstanding member of society, or are you a blah member of society? You know, there's all these ways that this energy is either being criticized or is self-criticizing, self-evaluating, right? And what I'm feeling is a lost in the shuffle kind of feel. I feel as though someone is seeing what they had for themselves, what roles they played, what responsibilities they took on, and how well or how not so well they did it. All that is changing around them. They want things to go back. I told you that in the beginning. Want things to go back, reconcile, turn back time, whatever it is. Whatever's happening now and in the upcoming is not necessarily welcomed by this energy. Whoever it is, male, female, your mother, your brother, your brother, your brother, your father, I don't care who it is. This person isn't necessarily welcoming the new energy. They're not very adaptable. They could be stubborn. You know, I mean, this is like what? It's not a billy goat, but it's some type of goatish animal, right? And goats are known to be stubborn, butting their heads against things, you know? And it's not... Because karma and the energy of Saturn is about restriction. Not karma, I take that out. But Saturn specifically, restriction. Putting things in a finite space. Defining things clearly. A equals B equals C. You know, or A plus B equals C. Whatever. Like, it's formulaic. That's not a lot of creativity going on in that energy, right? Not a lot of changeability there. Right? It's not resistance in a conscious way. Oh, that's interesting. It's not, even though I feel resistance because this is either someone lamenting the natural process of life, which is we all eventually go to the other side, right? We all eventually, you know, pass on, right? There's someone here who doesn't roll with that, doesn't flow with that. So when you resist that natural process, even though it might feel unnatural, it might feel untimely, it might feel so unwelcomed, but that is what this process is, yes? So when you do that, you resist life itself, which is, you know, impossible. You can't. You know, the moment you're born, that's the trajectory you're on, whether you realize it or not, whether you accept it or not. And I feel there's like a, beyond that, or more specifically, it's like, because I was this way, because I had this, because things were in this particular way, in this particular setting, that's what I expect going on for the rest of time. And that's impossible. So it's a certain type of resistance. I'm having a hard time really articulating it, but I hope you get what I mean. They might be screaming up and down, no, 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 I don't want this, making a scene. They might be very demonstrative. They might be very expressive in that way, but it's kind of unfortunate. And I mean, a deeper message, or not a deeper message, but another way we can read the Devil card is about karmic partnership or karmic ties, right? What you believe about that, what you know about that, that's up for you to decide and research and come to your conclusions. But that could also be what's going on here. When you have karmic ties, when you have karmic bonds, people can become stubbornly attached to them. And like I told you, I feel like there's a little bit of stubborn energy here, okay? Mother of Pentacles, Earth sign energy, Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. So a lot of Earth is here. 4 out of the 5 cards that are on this table are Earth related. So you might be dealing with an Earth sign, Sagittarius, but you don't have to be. Mother of Pentacles. Again, I think this is a person, a different person in the scenario. It could be you, could be someone else, I don't know. Male or female, doesn't really matter, but they do have a natural nurturing sense about them, and they might tend to be feminine. They might tend to be feminine in their behavior or their appearance, or just they carry the energy marker of femininity, but they don't have to. Or rather, at this time, they probably, to an outside eye who, you know, doesn't know anything about what's going on in this person's life or this situation involving you and them, they might not know that. I think that this person has swapped, like I said, swapped hats, swapped roles. This person is trying their best to be malleable. And that's the thing about Pentacles. Pentacles isn't known to be malleable, isn't known to be go with the flow, isn't known to be changeable, right? But I feel this energy is trying its best to do so because it knows it has to compensate for everything that's going on down here, whatever it is in your life specifically, whatever it is about in the Sagittarius's who's sitting next to you or who's across 5,000 miles away from you, their life, whatever the reason, this person is trying to do a new dance, so to speak. Where normally they might be very much home focused or very much focused on the material, very much focused on finances and nurturing that. It doesn't even have to be towards children, even though I do feel children are significant in some of your cases, not all. But nurturing finances and taking care of finances is very important, and contributing is very important. But now this person, instead of contributing, might also have to balance, might also have to pay bills when they never had to pay bills before. Could be, for some of you, if this, again, in some of your cases, this is about people who aren't getting along or people who no longer vibe together. This could be a working situation. This could be a business situation. And the business is now, being dissolved, or it's sold, or it's closed because of the pandemic, perhaps. And now this person has to get about finding new sources of income, and maybe before they never did the books, they weren't really, they were more front of house. They were never really back of house. They weren't really, doing payroll. Now this person starts up another business or something like that, and they do payroll, and then they hire, and then they talk to the insurance companies, and then they get on the phone and talk to, all these other agencies and the IRS and all this stuff. More assertive or proactive in those still physical, material, tangible spaces because of that emperor energy behind them. And I feel if this is about two people who used to be closer, now kind of having to go on their own paths and do their own thing, I feel this person is being super exclusive, to the bane of this person over here. This person over here feels kind of shafted. I think I said that earlier, perhaps. They don't feel included where they once were included. And this person is just trying to make the best out of a bad situation, right? Something like that. All right, let's get a card of advice for Sagittarius, and then we're going to close this up with an oracle card. So one card of advice for Sagittarius regarding the situation. Very interesting reading. It's going in so many different ways, and I'm only getting like fragments, I should say, of like all these different stories that I feel and I can see. It's very interesting. Anyway, one card of advice for Sagittarius, please, regarding this situation. One card of advice for Sagittarius regarding this situation. One card of advice, please. Wheel of Fortune. How about it? Number one, that's your card. That's your secondary major for Sagittarius. But listen, this is the way it is. And I think I've said that a few times in your reading, or I've alluded to such a connotation, where this is the way the divine, your personal Lord and Savior, the universe, Spirit, God, Buddha, Jesus, whatever you believe in, don't believe in, this is the way it was meant to be. And the Wheel of Fortune has, I think sometimes, well, I'm not going to get into that, but it's like setting a dial or turning up a dial. Whereas before, let's call it like a volume button or a volume dial, like on an old school radio where you turn it with your hand like this, right? Not just like clicking a little button like we do today, right? So let's say before this moment in your life, Sagittarius, the volume was set to like 4 out of 10. You could hear it, whatever was playing on the radio, but it was in the background. It was just happening. It was ambient, right? Ambient music, ambient sound. The universe, whatever you believe in or don't believe in, has turned this volume dial. Tick, 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 tick. And now it's like on an 8, a 9, a 10. And the music is blasting. What once was in the background, what once was maybe taken for granted, what once seemed to be just normal or part of everyday life, and it was so innocuous, it was almost unnoticeable, is now noticeable. Whether that music is pleasant, whether that music is loud and obnoxious or horrible sounding, that's up for you to understand. But something now is so loud, you cannot deny it. You cannot act as if you can't hear it. You know how when you're like in a place with ambient music, you can easily tone it out or zone it out. What do you call it? Tune it out. I was right? Yeah, tune it out. You can easily not notice. But when something is so loud, you have you have no choice but to notice it. This is purposeful. Jupiter is assigned to this card, as it is also related to Sagittarius, and Jupiter is about expansion. It's for a lot of times you can think of Jupiter like a highlighter, or how can I say it? A magnifier. Thank you. That was a better word. Not necessarily a highlighter, but you can go to like an actual highlighter for a book. But you could also think of it as a magnifier. Whereas you might be reading a text, you might be looking at this card, but if you put a magnifying glass over this thing, you might see little details that you didn't see before. So something is being brought to your attention. What this entire situation that we discussed for the majority of this video, something here is being brought to. The reason this is so prominent in your life and it's affecting you so much is because it's meant to highlight a significant something for you. Change, relationship, some type of pattern perhaps, because we do have the devil here, right? And devil can talk about things that we do because of habit, obsessions we have or fixations we have, things like that. Could be highlighting a power dynamic in a household or a family situation. Could be highlighting or magnifying issues surrounding money, nurturing, whatever we've talked about today. Some of those or one or two of them are meant to be like slapping you in the face or slapping you in the eardrums like loud music would, okay? Let's give Sagittarius an oracle card and then we're going to finish up, okay? Which oracle deck for Sagittarius, please, for mid-August? Oh, what an interesting reading. I felt kind of tense the whole time, and now that's like going away, so that's good. Good for me. I don't know if it's good for you. Anyway, oracle message for Sagittarius, please. That was weird. All right, Goddess Guidance for Sagittarius. One card, please. One card of advice, or excuse me, one message from the Oracle deck. Thank you. For Sagittarius, one message from the Oracle deck. For Sagittarius, what do they need to know most at this time? Last one, thank you. For Sagittarius, please show me. Mary Magdalene, unconditional love. Love yourself, others, and every situation, no matter what the outward appearances may be. Okay. Mary Magdalene. I'm not religious, so please don't, get upset with me. This is the woman. This is not Jesus' mother. Jesus' mother was Mary, but then Mary Magdalene, wasn't Mary Magdalene the prostitute who Jesus befriended? And he was like, I don't care that you were doing all that stuff with your body. You're a child of God anyway, and I love you. Isn't that what this is? Anyway, so something like that. This could be a story of redemption in some form or fashion for you guys. This could be what you or someone else is seeking redemption for past deeds, maybe trying to reconcile with a person, a family member, because a former person, or excuse me, someone used to be very strong, perhaps headstrong and maybe bullyish or very intense with that Emperor energy, and they want a new beginning, and they're trying, but then someone might be reluctant to that, and so maybe in the situation there needs to be some recognition or cultivation of unconditional love, maybe. But more specifically, or what I'm feeling more for the majority of you guys, for those where you have to let go of someone, in whatever way, that hits, in whatever way that resonates, make sure you let them go with love, which might be hard to do if you've had bad blood with a person, if you've disagreed with them, had a fight with them, had a falling out with them, that might be very hard to do. But wouldn't you want the same? Is kind of what I feel this is here to tell you. Wouldn't you want the same? If someone's going to leave your life forever, in whatever way that means, wouldn't you want the last interaction between you two to be one of unconditional love? To not bear grudges, to not hold on to pain? Because when you do that, well, you create blocks when you hold on to pain, right? Something like that. Interesting. Let's see what the book says, because that was just all intuition. And the book might have something else to say. All right, let's see. I'm not what most people think, yet to defend myself would be to... I'm not what most people think, yet to defend myself would be to sink to a lower level than I feel comfortable with. I am one with the divine, just as you are, and it is here that I choose to reside. The lower levels of human bickering, judgment, and chaos are just that, lower levels. I choose to do my work from the level of the higher consciousness, where love reigns supreme. It's where the most good can be done, and I urge you to do the same. Where you dwell in consciousness is where you truly dwell. So focus your thoughts on the good things that you can find in people, and rise above all appearances otherwise. Ooh, that has a deeper meaning than I could even interpret for you guys. Hopefully you guys can pick something out of that. So, various meanings of this card. Don't worry what others think or say. Heal the situation with love. Send love to those who have hurt or misjudged you. Forgive yourself for what you think you've done or not done. Release old unforgiveness towards others to help yourself heal and move on. I mean, yes. And it's hard. I'm not sitting on, some high pedestal saying, oh, I do it all the time. I sure as hell don't. I'm a human being, so I understand the struggle, and I understand how that can be off-putting, or that can sound incomprehensible. But that's the advice, and that's kind of, it could have been you this whole time who's looking for redemption and looking for second chances, Sagittarius. But for many of you, I feel that someone wants that from you, But I'm just going to leave it there. Sag, if this resonated with you at all, if you liked the video, please go ahead and indicate so by clicking that little button down below that YouTube allows you to click. Feel free to share the video, let other people know you like watching my stuff. Leave comments as well if you want to share how this resonated. That'd be super cool. And please subscribe, friends, if you have not done so already. That, of course, would also be super, super cool. Again, Sag, if you want a personal reading with me, you can find that information down below. Feel free to check your playlists here on the channel if you missed any previous messages from me this year or any year before now. And again, and I will be back probably within a week or so with the September messages, okay? Sagittarius, I thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Take care.